Good morning or good evening, Campbell. I think for you it's good evening, isn't it?
It is evening, yes. Good morning, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing really well, thanks. How are you?
I'm good, man. Good to chat with you again. Always have fun when we have a little talk.
We do
Um, uh,
indeed.
Kelly was supposed to be here, but yeah, it's the universe has said no. The first time she got called out to pick up her daughter, and now she's sick. So,
Mm,
so it's just you and me, mate.
yeah. Well, I enjoy our chats.
Yes, me too. Yeah, and I think people do as well. They always do very well, don't they?
Yeah, yeah. I think people enjoy a natural conversation more than something that appears to be scripted.
Yes, yes, and that's the big question at the moment, isn't it? Right, with the internet and
Mm,
AI and chatbots and all this crap that's going on, I think that's what people want, right?
mm.
And this is the thing, right? If people are talking and they say things like right and and it's not AI, right? We're actual real
Yeah.
people.
Have you seen the girl? Her name's Emma M. I think she calls herself
Yeah,
Killuminati.
conspiracy.
That's it, yeah. And I
Yes.
think on Facebook, I think she might be Killuminati. Um,
Yep. Okay. Yep.
I don't know if you've ever seen something called a show called the Y Files. It's a
Oh yeah,
bloke,
yeah, yeah. The
AJ
thing with the
Gentile.
fish. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So AJ's got these T-shirts that say Illuminati on them. And I've always fancied getting one of those, actually.
Illuminati.
I quite enjoy him, but I don't like the fact that at the end he normally starts to try and debunk everything.
Yeah, yeah, and he's a well, who knows, right? But he is a Rogan regular as well. He seems to sort
Mm.
of work in those, and I mean, who knows? But he has a massive channel, and that goldfish kind of annoys me. I gotta tell you, it'd be
Do you,
better if he just got his stuff out.
do you think that he uses the goldfish to say the things that he doesn't want to say or doesn't want to be seen saying?
Well, yeah, that's definitely the role of the goldfish, I think, to put things out. But I mean, whether that is him doing it, and it is a fairly highly produced show, right? But
Yeah,
whether
oh
it's him
yeah.
putting it out or whether it's put there to give the impression that he's putting that out, that he is actually, trying to get information out, and that's how he does it. It's a strange realm we find ourselves in, but
Oh, I know.
I think the worst thing we can probably do is judge it as completely wrong or completely right.
Mm,
Like to just say, oh, it's all completely, he's clearly one of them, and oh my God, I mean, then we miss out on any info that is good that comes through. And if we say, oh, well, he's completely right, well, then that's gone the other way. So, I think all this stuff and everything, right, with AI and all, I think in the end we've got to be autodidactic, right? We've got to be able to think for
absolutely.
ourselves. We've got
Absolutely.
to have discernment. We've got to take it in, not judge it, get more information on that topic, different perspectives, and then go, okay, what do I make of it? Not what does, Guy on YouTube or someone else on YouTube or the neighbor or the shopkeeper make of it. What do we make of it? Because in the
Yeah.
end, truth is kind of subjective, really, isn't it, to our individual experience?
Yeah, I totally agree. I often think, what is truth? You know, truth to you depends on your experiences and what you've read, and whether or not you were brought up in perhaps a religious household or one that's, more scientifically orientated or atheist. So
Mm.
your truth is going to be different to somebody else's, but there are a lot. I'm sort of digressing here a little bit because I wanted to talk to you about this conspiracy and something else. Um, I put a post up on Facebook yesterday talking about, and it linked people to my website blog because I couldn't put some of the things on Facebook. And it was basically showing how many people have been killed by the Catholic Church since its very inception. And it's 60 million. 60 million people is a conservative estimate. The amount of people that
Mm.
started preaching about Jesus this and God that on the post was incredible to the point where I had to actually block one person.
Yes.
And I thought, well, you just because you're Christian and you have these views doesn't mean that they're true.
No, and because you're a Christian, you can't judge me. It says it in the Bible, dude.
Mm. Yeah,
I mean, this
absolutely.
is one of the things, right? As soon as people turn Christian or find the Lord or become reborn or whatever they do, one of the first things they do is start judging everyone else, right?
Mm.
You don't
Yeah,
believe what I believe, so you're wrong.
yeah.
I mean, that's completely against the message that we're told that Jesus preached. But I mean, what I don't get about the Bible is, well, there's a couple of things. But one is that they always reference the KJV,
Mm,
right? As the ultimate text.
mm.
Printed what, early 1600s,
Yeah.
1612-ish, something like that. 1600 years after Jesus died.
Mm.
Like, imagine 1600, imagine 3625. I think that would be a different
Yeah.
place, right, than now. So, why don't, and they refuse to go back to the more original text. You ask them about things like the Book of Enoch, the Book
Mm.
of Angels, Book of Giants, blah, blah, blah. And they say, oh, no, they're non-canonical, so they don't have anything to do
Yeah.
with it. So that's one thing that really confuses me with, well, it doesn't really, I understand it's programming, right? But why they can't see that, why they don't want to get the truth. It's very strange to me that they basically do what they're told, right? But
Yeah.
sorry, Christians, but it's a program. It's a program. It's a control system, and they don't want you to read the book and get your own interpretations.
Mm.
But in that book, it says, "Leave no stone unturned."
Mm.
Right. So it's this very weird thing. Of course, the other major problem I have is that the Lord is Baal and Yahweh, who it tells you right there. He went around asking for people to sacrifice their children to. Then
Yeah.
he got the ark and he went and destroyed cities, all the animals, children, adults, razed them to the ground many times.
Yeah.
And I kind of think that might be what we see, right? When we see this scar across Africa and the Middle East and up into
Mm.
Russia, because that's where it all happened, all these stories apparently. And it's scorched, man.
Yeah. The interesting thing is that if I was to sit with, if I, my mother, well, my mother's father was Jewish. My dad was raised Catholic. My wife's Muslim. And I went to a Church of England school and I got ordained. So we got a,
Wow, okay.
yeah, so we got a real
You
mixed
got
bag.
a mixed bag.
And it's quite interesting because a lot of people start firing bits of the Bible at me and verses from the Bible at me, not knowing that I'm ordained. And I just sit back and read it and I think, wow, if I sat there with my grandfather, my wife's father, who's dead now, because my wife, she was raised as Muslim, but she doesn't practice anything. And I had my great auntie who raised my dad, very religious, lived everything to the Roman Catholic Church. If I had them all sat around me, they would all say that their book is the true word of God and their religion is the only true one. But there are 99, apparently, 99 religions out there, and each one claims to be spreading the true word of God. But which one's right? And also, why would you have? I kind of look at religion a bit like football. It's we
Mm.
can get along. You and I can get along really well. But you support a different team or religion to me, so we will argue about that to the extent where we're prepared to kill each other. Now, what's that about? Would you killing someone over their views?
Um, I mean, I can only put it down to programming. And the thing with religion is you're programmed from day dot, right? The
Mm,
day you come out, so you literally know nothing else. And 99 religions, yeah, but then that's not even counting all the native peoples and their beliefs,
yeah.
right? And we all know the story of the Spanish in the Americas and every, so many other countries, right? They just go in and murder people,
Mm,
basically in the name of God, in the name of their loving God.
yeah.
So I think just that shows us that at the very least, the people running these organizations are not they don't believe what they profess, right? Clearly,
Absolutely.
it's all about power, like 100%.
Yeah.
And that's what I don't. I mean, I think I understand that, people are programmed from birth, and that's why they can't see
Yeah.
anything else.
Mm,
And there's examples of, different things that aren't religion of programming that you can see, and I think that's it. And it's weird, isn't it? Because a lot of people are waking up, but the whole Christian thing's being pushed, and a lot of people are still
mm,
turning to Christianity and
mm,
finding Jesus and all this kind of stuff. And one thing I find very interesting about that is, that they're always saying, anything outside religion, like talking to, spirits, channeling, astral traveling, remote viewing, tarot cards, all this kind of stuff, any divining, right, is evil and of the devil. But I know many people who have found Jesus because he came and spoke to them. Now,
mm.
tell me, what's the difference between, how do they know that he wasn't one of these evil spirits, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
I mean, the,
exactly.
the thing we know about the devil and the evil dark side is they're deceivers.
Yes. Yeah,
So
I totally agree.
it's a it's a hard one, and will probably offend many people. But if you're watching and you are Christian, let us know. What have we got wrong? Like what are we
Yeah.
missing here? Because Christianity, because I was, raised in Australia, it was the religion of the country, was really one of the things that really woke me up the first and this is when I was like 5 or 6, because what I realized is that everyone who called themselves a Christian was just wearing a facade, a persona. It wasn't who they were. They would say, they'd turn up at church all dressed up, all nice, all these perfect people,
Mm,
and that's not actually who they were. You'd talk to them in the street or
mm.
see them, and you'd see them angry and, cussing around and that. And I mean, my actual godfather, we found out used to go home and beat up, later on, used to go home and beat up his wife and kids. But he was there every Sunday,
Yeah.
front pew, dressed well, all the family dressed nice. Yeah, we're here,
Mm,
look at us, amazing Christians. And that's what I saw as a trend as I grew up is all these people profess to be something, but it's all crap. It's just a facade. It's like history, right? It's just a facade, man.
yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. And you're quite right. People, the most judgmental people I've ever met in my life go to church on a Sunday. And there'll be people that are desperate to condemn other people. There might be even people that want to put something derogatory or um, aggressive as a comment on this actual video when it's uploaded that
Sure, they
profess to
will.
be religious.
Yeah.
Um, and I often wonder if you really are a believer in the Bible and you follow it to the letter, you follow it verbatim, do you think about that before you comment or say what you say? Do you think about that? Because it doesn't appear to be the case. I've had some run-ins with a few people, and they'll put some really nasty comments, yet they go around telling people that they're followers of Jesus, they believe in the Bible, um, and anyone who doesn't, it's blasphemous and so on. And I think, well, isn't that strange? Because if God is watching you right now and sees what you're saying and reads what you're writing, then you've got a problem on your hands. So I don't quite
Yeah.
understand that.
But yeah, so do they actually believe it, right?
Mm,
Because they can't believe it fully. And the thing is, they're called Christians, right? And of course, there's different interpretations to what Christ is. But in the mainstream, like a Christian is someone who, it just makes sense, right? That there's someone who tries to live like Christ, to
which
follow
is
his
impossible.
teachings. Yeah, well, it's impossible, but at least try and be kind. Don't
Mm,
judge. Give where you can. Like be a good influence, be a good person.
mm,
But like you say, you don't find many people doing that, which means they're not embracing it. They're not meditating on it. They're not really working out what's Jesus saying to me. They're focused more on the religion, right? the corporation, because they all are, that
Absolutely.
professes to speak for God.
Mm,
And then they go to church, right? And the man in the dress says, "This is the verses that you shall read, and this is how you shall interpret them." He
mm,
doesn't say, "Look, this is the word of God. Go home and interpret it yourself because you're the creation and you have that spark in you." And
mm.
they don't want that,
No.
right? It's clearly a control mechanism.
Yeah, I totally agree. And the interesting thing is that when they haven't got an answer, if someone's incredibly religious, when you ask them something that can't be explained, for example, I would say, why did that 3-month-old baby die of cancer? It's God's will.
God's will.
Well, if everything is God's will, why is it that the first thing I see when I walk into a cathedral or a church is a box asking me to donate money? If it's God's will for that church to close because people aren't supporting it anymore, then that's God's will, isn't it? Am I intervening in that? Am I?
Well, God clearly needs cash, guy.
It's not very good with money, is he?
Clearly into money. I
It's
mean,
it's an
but
odd
this
one,
is
isn't
the
it?
thing, right? This is the dumb thing. Like the creator of everything. Like if he wanted money, woo,
Mm,
I don't think it's a he or a she, but the God, right? The creator energy. Yeah, so it's so silly, right? And there's even verses in the Bible. There's one where, Jesus is looking at the people coming in and giving their money and seeing how much they give. And at the end, this old lady comes and she gives like, a shekel or something, the smallest currency. And all his apostles are like, oh my God, she only gave a shekel. And Jesus is like, yes, but that's the biggest donation of all because that's all she could afford. Like passages like that are like, even if you're poor and broke and struggling, go and give money to the church,
yeah.
which is really, I mean, disgusting and pretty much against what you would think Jesus stood for.
Mm,
So it's just so, and I think the main problem with anyone who's really into religion is they haven't read the book, they haven't studied the
no,
book
no.
and said what does it, and I haven't studied the Bible, by any means, but I've definitely read it. I've read lots of, I haven't read it cover to cover, but I've read lots of it. And I would think that I've read more of the Bible than your average Christian or person who says they're a Christian. And that's very strange, right?
Mm, I totally agree. I'll give you a classic example. My dad won't see this, so it doesn't really matter. But my great auntie who raised my dad, who left everything to the church, just before she died, the priest went to see her and he got her to change her will to leave everything to him. And she
Because God
did.
needs money.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? And I remember at the funeral when we left the church, when we were walking out the church and the priest is shaking everyone's hand and having a quick word, that my dad took him to one side and said, I know what you did while she was dying. My dad didn't need the money or want it, but she'd left because she never had married or had any children. She devoted her
Yeah,
life to the church, and that's why she raised my dad and his older brother. It was they were down here in Devon, and they'd just gone through the Blitz where my
yeah.
nan lived, and so my dad and his older brother were sent down here to stay with their auntie until the dust had settled and my nan had found, a new house and they'd lost their house and everything and started again. So she'd left money to me and to her other, nieces and nephews and great nieces and nephews as well. And my dad took him to one side and said that that woman was dying when you did what you did. And I'm not sure how that stacks up with your beliefs and what you stand for. All I know is you are a CUNT and walked away. And you could see this man's face. He knew what he'd done was awful.
I know when you hear stories like that, you got to kind of hope that the story's true, right?
Mm,
He pays for that because that's disgraceful. But it also shows you that he doesn't believe it
no,
at all. He wouldn't not be doing that if he thought that he was putting himself into eternal hell.
mm,
Like that's it for the rest of existence. There's no way out,
mm,
right? That's what
mm,
they say. Um, so this is, and this is my biggest problem. Like this, is what I was talking about. What I noticed when I was young is they're all full of it.
mm,
They say one thing, they do another. They don't believe in what they say. It's all to do with facade and
mm,
look at me. I'm the way the Bible says I should be. The priest says I'm good. Look at my clothes. I'm better than the person without less clothes. That I really should be helping, but look at me. I'm on the front pew in a nice suit. It's
yeah.
yeah, it's disgraceful and disgusting. I mean, I was brought up. We were like just in case Christians because my
Mm,
mum was raised Christian. But all she said is just be a good person.
yeah.
If this, basically just be a good person. That's it. And it doesn't matter if the Bible defines that as good or bad. It just be a good person based on who you are and what you believe. I mean, we all know how to be good. Treat people nice, smile, help people who are in need if you can. It's not hard, right? And
Mm,
it doesn't cost millions of dollars and billions and, thousands of cathedrals and the Pope sitting on a solid gold bloody throne
mm,
surrounded in gold and down crosses. Like,
mm.
that's not
No.
what makes anyone holy. And the whole word holy, don't, would- don't we want, wouldn't we rather be whole
Yes.
than holy? We don't want to be
Yes.
full of holes. They're full
Yeah.
of
That's
holes.
good.
We want to be whole.
I like that. That's really good.
Ah.
It is interesting though, isn't it, that you've got this really powerful and wealthy organization and they represent God. They're doing God's work and God can perform miracles. Everything that happens is God's will, and that if you follow His rules, that you've got 10 rules that you have to follow, but they appear to be taken from the Egyptian Book of the Dead, which had 30, and they just picked
Mm.
10. A lot of them seem to be the same kind of thing. A lot of them are sort of repetitive, but
Yeah.
he loves you. He loves you no matter what. He loves you. But if you don't follow these rules, you're going to burn in hell. But he loves
And
you.
he doesn't love you so much.
Yeah, he
He
does love you. Don't
he
forget that.
he loves you, but read the Bible. It literally says, "I am a jealous God."
Mm,
You tell me the creator of everything that loves you and made you, in love and all this, jealous? I mean, that's the God we
yeah.
see, right? Like, make sacrifices for me,
Mm.
do this for me, bow down to me, worship me. That's a jealous God.
And
So that
jealous
the
of
God
who?
of the Bible is not the creator.
No, no. And it's a different God because the God in the Old Testament, and the Old Testament is pretty much based upon the Torah, and the Torah appears to be the Epic of Gilgamesh. It seems to
Well,
be a very,
then there's that. Like, there's 30 plus religions pre-Christianity who have, the one and the 12, the prophet and the 12, and they
yeah,
have the Son of God born to a virgin,
Horus.
exactly right. Like, it's repeated over and so it's not even, and that information isn't even that hard to find, which kind of shows that they're so programmed into that they're told this. If you go and look at those, those scriptures, that's evil. The devil will get you. And talk
Where
about
does
a
it say that?
program, man. Like
Yeah.
you can, whatever you do, don't try and verify what we're saying, is what they're saying, right?
And where does it say that in the Bible? Where in the Bible does it say you must not look into this any further?
It doesn't. It says leave no stone
Yeah,
unturned. It says
exactly.
the opposite.
Yeah. But I do think, and also the Old Testament, there's a lot of plural in there. It's God's
E-
created it.
Elohim.
Yeah. Yeah, which Elohim, Anunnaki it appears to be the same thing.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. Yep. Yeah, it's a
s-
group. It's a pantheon, right?
yes.
A pantheon of gods. And again, you go back to, the Sumerian, Enlil, and Enki, and they tell you that. They tell you that they're just two representatives of a much larger group.
Mm,
And in the Old Testament, there's gods fighting with each other. Like
mm,
Yahweh and Baal. They're not the same people. They're fighting just like Enlil and Enki, right?
mm.
So I find it crazy that it's actually rising again at the moment. I thought
mm,
we were smarter than this, as a collective consciousness that we'd be able to see through. But, there's a lot of strong programming going on. And a
yeah,
lot of people, people who say they're awake, yes, and they're,
mm,
haven't had the jab and all that, but then they start telling you about their God, their God. I'm like,
yeah,
dude, he's not outside. Look inside. That's where he resides, in the
exactly.
temple. The temple.
Yeah, and Christos, that is the fluid that runs down your spine.
Yep, chrism
Chrism,
oil.
yeah.
Yeah.
People don't get it, and they talk about Jesus. That wasn't even his name. You know,
No, well, yeah. There's lots of talk about that, but I mean, even if you take Jesus, which in Spanish is Jesus.
mm,
Hey Zeus, how you doing, right? Zeus.
exactly.
Like
Hmm.
it's pretty crazy. So it's yeah, I mean, and if you are watching, you are a Christian, sorry, but go and do some reading. Check
Mm,
this stuff out. Like don't listen to your whatever, right? The priest, the pastor, the whatever they're called. Don't let him tell you what you can and cannot read,
mm,
right? Because if God is real and He created you, then He gave you a mind that can go out and read things and take in information and discern and make decisions. So
mm,
not doing that is kind of, in my opinion, kind of, not using the creation that you are, right? Like
mm.
and why be scared of yourself? Why be scared of the you know, like if God's got your back, what's there to worry about, really?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And this goes back to my kind of first thought, really, which is if everything is God's will, why is it that the first thing they do when you walk through the door is ask for money? If they need money, God will provide it.
Exactly. And on that topic, what is a will?
Mm,
God's will. What are you
yeah,
going to leave me?
yeah,
Give me the money. Give
yeah,
me a house. That's what I need. I created everything, but I need your money in your house.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
dumbest thing ever.
Mm,
It just doesn't. But like you say, that they so attack, the elderly, those, who have given their life and really through fear, I guess, of hell,
yeah,
burning in hell, and they go for them, right? And then you have people like Joel Osteen and these other weirdos in America who are literally worth hundreds of millions of dollars. And Joel Osteen, I can't, I think it was Katrina, I can't remember. But basically, there was a massive, storm and flooding and everything, and all these people lost their houses, and it was the middle of the night, and they were just looking for somewhere to sleep. And they found his church. He would not let them in because he'd just had new carpet laid.
mm,
Such a man
yeah,
of God.
yeah, yeah. It's
Like,
incredible, isn't it? Absolutely
and
incredible.
he still has millions of followers.
I don't understand, but also from what I've seen, that they do tend to approach people when they're vulnerable. Um, I had this really interesting conversation in Northampton, where I used to live, which is sort of the Midlands, Middle England, if you like, Middle Earth, Middle England.
Yes.
Um, and there was a church there, and for the life of me, I can't remember which one it is. But they called themselves the Jesus Army, and they had a
Oh,
rainbow. They had lots of vans. They had property all over Northampton, and they would dress up young lads, late teens, early 20s, in really nice suits, and they had these what do you call them, name badges on them, and it would have their name and underneath Jesus Christ Superstar. And one of them stopped me. They stop you all the time, but and you just sort of shrug them off and keep going. And I thought, no, I'm going to have a chat with this one. And he stopped me and he said, "Do you believe in the Bible?" And I said, "Well, to an extent, but I know it's based upon much older scripture. But there are bits in that I find interesting." And and he said, "Well, I represent Jesus. I'm here to talk to you. I work for Jesus." And I said, "Well, that's interesting. Did he interview you for the job?" And he said, "Well, what do you mean?" I said, "Well, you just told me you work for him. Is he aware of that? What's he like to work for? If you ring in sick, do you get a hard time? You know, does he let you have your
Yeah.
birthday off? You know, What's he like? Does he email, or how did you get the job, and how did he employ you? He said, no, it doesn't work like that. I said, no, because someone's told you that you work for Jesus. Is Jesus aware? And if he is, how can you show me that Jesus is aware you work for him? Because all you appear to be doing is repeating verses out of the Bible while you're stood here preaching to people. Whereas I know from the Bible that Jesus would talk to people, and if they weren't interested, he would walk away. He didn't try and ram things down anybody's throats. He would share what he had, he'd say what he had to say and then move on. But you're not doing that. So you're actually contradicting what he did. You're telling people you're employed by him. You literally said you work for him, yet you've never met him. There's never been any communication. So what you're doing is you're deceiving people and with the best intentions, but this, what you're doing is wrong.
But it's deceiving, and like that's one of the things they say about the devil, right? Is he's the great deceiver. And just as another passing comment, it was Jesus, right? He went into the temple and overthrew all the money changers' tables because he
Ah, the
said
money
money
lender.
has no place in the temple.
Mm,
And yet, what do all churches do as soon as you walk through the door? Give me money.
mm,
So, I mean, I think it's clear that the people running this charade are working for the other guy, right? The other energy, the other
yeah.
force, shall we say. Like they clearly got nothing at all to do with the creator God and loving and harmony and helping out. Like there's nothing at all like that in any of the religions, really, when you get down to it. Like even the Buddhists, they're sort of looked on as one of the more spiritual sort of churches, but they just sit around and meditate all day. Then they get up and walk through the town and expect people to feed them and clothe them, and then they go back and meditate. What are they giving?
Mm,
It's take, 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 right? And let us live lives the way we want to in our
mm,
big monasteries, and you look after us. So it's completely absent of any of the teachings of what we're taught Jesus was and what his
mm.
message was.
Yeah, I
So
totally agree.
it's a crazy story.
It is. And getting married. My youngest son's getting married next month. Um,
Oh, congratulations.
thank you. So it's a strange one because his girlfriend's Tamal. She's from Sri Lanka.
Oh,
So it's
yeah.
kind of a weird all day long ceremony. I think the first bit we go to a regular church, and then we go to a temple for the second bit. It's all kind of
Oh,
weird,
okay.
but the strange thing with it is that there isn't actually a passage in the Bible that the wedding relates to. There isn't anything in there that they can read. When you're getting married, they don't hold out the Bible and read word for word what they're saying. They're saying, by the power invested in me, I now pronounce you man. What power? Who invested that power in you? Where does it say in the Bible that you have to go through a religious ceremony, you know,
Well,
conducted by
it's a
someone?
good point. Jesus definitely wasn't married, but again, I'm not a Bible scholar, but I can't recall anyone getting married in the Bible. Adam and Eve definitely weren't.
Hmm,
All these other people you hear about. Yeah, it's I mean, and ultimately now, marriage, formal marriage is part of the government, part of the corporation, and you're
yes.
basically joindering yourself and your partner as a corporation
Hmm,
for tax reasons, like
yeah.
basically. That's got
Yeah.
nothing to do with the Bible or God or anything like that.
No, you're given a
It's
license.
you give it a license. Exactly, it's a
Mm.
marriage license.
Mm.
You got to lie to your senses to believe that stuff.
But a license is basically permission to do something that would have been illegal otherwise.
Yeah. Well, well, that's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's basically because they want to control it all. And
Mm,
it goes back to, I can't remember the name of it, but it happened in England where the kings, if someone wanted to get married, the kings would go around and basically have sex with their women before the wedding day, right? To spread their seed,
mm. Well, they're still doing
keep
that now, aren't
control.
they? Yeah.
Just, just a bit more surreptitiously, I know,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, Prince Andrew's been in the news.
Yeah, he certainly has. And
Yes.
that's an interesting one. We're never going to find out the truth about that, are we? We're going to get bits and pieces forever.
I think he was just thrown to the wolves. It's like, oh my God, they're starting to see it's all starting to come out. What do we do? What I just give him someone because
Yeah.
like Charles ain't any different, man. I mean, that
No.
dude. We all saw the painting. We all saw the interview where he's like, "Yes, I'm related to Dracula." Ooh.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, like they're all they just trying to like throw him to the wolves, right? Oh, there you go. He was the only bad one. Leave us
Mm,
alone. We're all good.
yeah.
But it's the same old story over and over again, right? Like it really is, and
Mm,
people keep believing it. But I think things are changing. I think I think we're on the upward swing. There's a lot coming out, a lot of craziness, a lot of weird and obviously disinformation. The whole doom scrolling craze is not good. But on the other side, if you look deeper, there is a lot of good stuff coming out. A lot of people waking up more and more,
mm,
and I think 2026 is going to be an interesting year, right? We're in a 9 year, so we're in closure, right? Finalities, closing everything up, and then next year's a one. It's like the rebirth kind of in numerology and all that kind of stuff. So I'm kind of feeling that. I'm not a big numbers or astrological kind of person, but it is feeling like a lot of things are having to be closed and strings tied up
mm,
and getting ready for new beginnings.
mm. Yeah, yeah, I agree. I think more people are waking up all the time now. And I was saying to someone the other day that I've stopped trying to wake people up. I'm now just available if they do, and
Yeah,
kind
well,
of leaving it there.
yeah, I was telling people a couple of years ago, just stop it. Stop
Mm,
it. You're not waking at it because I'd get messages all the time and I'd see stuff ever. And people, it was always like a competition. I woke
mm,
3 people up today. Oh, well, I
mm,
woke up four. And I'm sitting there thinking, no, you woke no one up at all. Like you may have been the second or the 42nd person to give information that made someone go click. But I mean, what is waking someone up?
mm.
What does that really mean? What it really means is you got someone to agree with you.
Yes,
That's it.
yes.
That's it. Like you got someone to think like you do. Well done. I mean,
Well,
it's ego. It's ego. It's got nothing to do with waking people up.
that's religion. You've just
That's
described religion
it's
again.
religion.
Getting people to
Yes,
agree with you. And if
exactly.
and taking it back, not that long ago, if you don't agree with us, we'll kill you.
Literally.
Mm.
Uh,
But
Yeah.
God loves
You
you.
know. Well, 2020 it was like if you agree with us, we'll kill you, right?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. I sort of went off
Yeah.
tangent there a little bit. I was talking about
What were we talking
spiracy.
about? Yes, yes. I think we went off track a bit,
We,
definitely.
we did.
Conspiracy. Is she
Yeah.
AI? Do you reckon she's AI?
No, no, she doesn't appear to be AI. She appears to be a person, but she's using ChatGPT to that chat. It's ChatGPT that's talking, but it's her. So it's done through
Oh, okay.
ChatGPT, and that appears to be why a lot of people have said that you won't get her to do an interview. Let's say she's got quite a big following. So let's say Joe Rogan invited her on. There's no way she could go because she hasn't researched anything.
Yeah,
She's
clearly.
It's just ChatGPT pouring it out. And yet I still get the odd person sharing stuff with me saying, "Oh, have you seen this?" Oh, she's got an interesting point. No, she hasn't. This is bullshit.
Yeah.
Stop
She's just
watching
rehashing the
her.
stuff we've been doing for the last 20 years, right?
Yeah,
That's all it
yeah.
is. Yeah, clearly. Yeah. There's no she doesn't go deeper on anything. There's
No,
no thinking involved. It's just like, oh well, this is already out like ChatGPT would do, right?
yeah.
Scale for this topic. Yep, here you go, blah, blah, blah.
Mm,
And that's what she says it, in a compelling voice, and she's very good looking and all that kind of stuff. And everyone's like, oh my God. And
yeah. Yeah. I mean,
But
yeah.
this is the thing with social media is she's making clearly a lot of money off it.
Mm,
And there's a lot of money involved if you can get a lot of views, right? And
mm,
so we have all these people who don't really care about if it's true or not. They just care about the novelty. They just
mm,
want things to be exciting and oh my God, wow, what's happening now? And they'll just put it out. And that unfortunately, and also they get pushed out more by the algorithm.
mm,
And so that's really why you just, you can't watch video or any online content and go, oh my God, that's the truth. Like it's
yeah.
just it's a loser's game, right? It should all be interesting,
Mm,
but then you need to go and get more information, more perspectives, do a bit of research, and go, oh, okay, this is true, this isn't, blah blah blah. Because we just don't know, and in the end, you've got to come to your own conclusion, right? Because you're
mm,
in your own little world. You're not living in anyone else's own little world. As
mm.
a collective world, yes, definitely, but you're in your own little world. We all are.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I
So,
just wish that people would see through these things. There's one doing the rounds at the moment, and I've been sent it by email. I've been sent it half a dozen times through Facebook Messenger, and it's a girl talking about the orphan trains, the Cabbage Patch babies, repopulation after Tartaria, and someone sent it to me, and I clicked on it and I had a quick look. She's reading my book.
are you serious?
Yeah, she's reading bits out from my book, my first book. And I replied and said, I think someone's read my book. And they said, I'm glad you actually watched it because I've read your book and that's why I sent it to you. And then people have started sending it to me more and more. I'm thinking, what's this girl doing? I mean, it's great, but she's not
Well, as
crediting
long as
me.
she's exactly, it's good if she's putting your link and crediting
Mm,
your name, but otherwise she's just stealing your information for money, for
yeah,
gain. And you
yeah.
should copyright the ass out of her and get her banned. I've
Mm,
had people, if people, are referencing my work and that's good. I always say at least put my link in the description and let them know it's
yeah.
my stuff. But I've had people take my stuff and use it against me. Like edit it badly and put it up and basically, turn it into something like Campbell sucks kind of thing. And look, he's
Oh my
lying.
God.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But they did it on YouTube, right? So I just went, oh, copyright, and they lost their channels because they
Oh,
had so many up there. They just went dung dung dung, no more channel. So I mean, I got no, if you're going to use it for that, well, F you, right?
mm,
But even if if you are trying to help or promote something, people credit the original person,
mm,
put the link down there, let them
mm,
know where you got it from. If not, then you're just stealing
mm,
other people's information and research, and that's
mm,
not nice.
mm,
But at the same time, they can still make money off it and tell everyone where they got it from and
mm.
help you out, right? Send
Yeah.
people your way, help you sell books, and they can still profit from it. It's just this when they pretend, just like just like everything, right? When they have this facade and this is who I am. Oh, now I'm a smart person who's done all this research because I've bought someone's book who's done that, and I'm reading it to you.
Mm.
Like that's dodgy stuff, man.
It happens all the time, though, doesn't it? I see it all the time. I see
Uh,
sometimes. Sorry.
yeah. No, no, I
So,
was just going to say, I see it all the time. Like so many people, so many videos now, I see people going, his story. And I'm like,
mm,
oh my gosh, I wish I could get a credit for that. But I mean, you can't really, right? I mean, it's good, right? In a way that that's got out there so far. Like I said, I was talking about that like 6 years ago. And now it's made it, so that's cool that it's made it out into the general populace. We've actually, had an effect, right? So
I
that's
love
nice to
that.
see.
But my
Yeah.
first book, I referenced a few things from Mind Unveiled. I don't know if you watched Mind Unveiled.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And I said to Sol at Mind Unveiled, I said to him, these are the chapters. This is where I'm going to reference, blah blah blah, and this is where you're referenced, and so on. And he's like, "Wow, thanks so much." because I'd mentioned them in the book and said that, I watched this on their channel and I recommend everybody subscribes and takes a look at their work and they think this and that
Mm,
and so on. And credited him with it. And
mm,
then obviously in an email, I was chatting to him in an email and told him that this is where you'll see what I've said about you and hope you find it interesting and thanks for getting this information out there. And I did that. And then at the back of my books, I always put where I got my information from and who contributed to it. Um, so it's there in black and white. People can see. And I think when you take I had this again yesterday. Somebody had taken a post. Every day I put these posts up on Facebook, and someone had taken a post from a couple of weeks ago, chopped the bottom of it off so you couldn't see me on there and the image that I'd designed, chop the bottom of that off it, and then put it out there. And I thought, that's that's
that's
just
not good.
wrong.
It is wrong. It's completely wrong. And I mean, like seriously, my advice is, man, put up a copyright strike against those people because that is just it's just wrong. It's stealing. It's theft,
Mm,
right? And it's people trying to get the easy way out, thinking they'll get an audience based on what you've done,
mm,
and that's just wrong. And and that's not without them, having to attack you, right? Just if they're trying to use your research as their own, that's called copyright, man.
mm,
Like there's a reason, and I don't necessarily agree with all the copyright rules because it's gone crazy. But if it's someone's own work and research that they've put into it, and it's what they're doing, and it's their livelihood, then if you're going to try and steal that, well, you're gonna play the game right,
mm.
and you should fall. Like it's not on, right? Because thoughts aren't that hard. Right? Everyone can
Original
read
thoughts
stuff.
seem to
It's
be.
regional. Well, maybe they are a bit hard for most people, but that's all it is, right? Like I've done thousands of videos, and I've definitely like got ideas off other people all the way through. And if it's a big idea and something I remember, I always mention it. I'm always
Mm,
mentioning other people, right? But that's the other thing is then you're promoting the whole community. It's good for everyone, and you're
yeah.
getting, it's this whole, it comes back to the whole religion thing that we were talking about.
Mm,
Just be a good person.
mm,
Like help people. Don't steal.
mm,
Don't lie. Try and do the best by everyone. Like it's not hard.
mm.
It's really not.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah.
Yes.
Now we were
Wow.
we were originally we were going to talk about your newspaper, Tartaria, Australia. Yay!
Hey, there it is. Yee. Yes. This is our edition one. Um, 72 pages. Oh, can you see that? Whee! Lots of stuff in here.
I
Great.
love the style of it. It's really retro, vintage kind of.
Yeah. Yeah. We wanted it to be, how do I do it that way? Yeah, retro, like a comic book almost, right? A
Mm.
70s, 80s kind of comic book. Um, we've definitely thought about Mad magazines and things like that
Oh, I
as
used to
far
love
as
that.
we want to take it. We love
Mm,
to get cartoons around the borders and weird
mm,
things and foldable pictures. But yes, it's released. We're just doing compiling edition two at the moment. And it's all submissions from our community. Like people are sending in articles and pictures and poems and artwork and whatever. And we're not even editing it. We're just whacking them in there. Um, and people are loving it. It's not like anything else you can get,
mm,
especially for our kind of community, right? People who want to have a magazine on our kind of topics. It's all in there. And it's also part of the internet, right? We're all like the internet is a useful device. It really is, and it's brought lots of us together. It's given us lots of ideas. It's released a lot of information. But if you spend all day on it, it's not good. It's not good for you, right? So that's why we're doing it. There is no online copy. There's no audible version. It's you get the actual newspaper like we did
mm,
in the past, in the olden days, or you don't see it. And we want people to get it and put it in their dunnies, right?
Mm.
So their guests can, that's toilets for anyone else in the world. Um, and so, so people can read it, it's real, it's physical. And yeah, it's only the tartariaustralia.com. You can subscribe, and we're sending it all around the world, wherever, basically wherever you are, we will send it to you, and it'll turn up in your letterbox, not your email letterbox, the one out the front of your
The real one.
house.
Mm.
Yeah, where the postman used to put stuff. We're bringing that back, right? Just because it's just a little step, right, to start walking back this whole dependence on the internet. And of course, it's getting so much worse now with bots and AI and all that. But
Mm.
just walking people back to the 3D world is what it really is. And also, everyone has to write their own stuff. They have to submit stuff. Like there's no AI in there, right? And there's also um, no, oh gosh, what's the word? Censoring. There's no censorship, right? So whatever comes in is there. So it's kind of our little effort to get by all this kind of stuff. And of course, with things like the Brit card, it's coming in Australia, all this stuff, they're talking about
Mm.
it. What's going to happen there? We don't know. I really think we're going to be fine. I don't think that they're going to be able to roll it out. I think it's going to be a massive failure, much more than 2020, but we don't know. And the internet is at the end of it, we don't control it. We don't own it. If they want to turn it off, they can literally turn it off. So we're trying to basically we're walking back, and we've started this with, like our live events, and we've just had like a 3-day festival event a couple of months ago, and that's what we're trying to promote, like real things, 3D world, meeting people, gathering, holding things in your hand, reading things from other humans.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, that's our big sort of what we're on at the moment. As far as that's Tartaria Australia with Kelly Jones.
And that's going
Mm.
well. You're pleased with the response so far?
Yeah, yeah, we are. Yeah, really. This edition, the first one was free. So
Oh,
basically,
wow.
anyone who wanted it, we bankrolled the whole thing. We paid for it all, got it printed, paid for like a lot of money
Yeah, I bet it
to get
was.
it all to get just on our um I hope, I guess, that people would be interested in it, right? We thought we'll show them
Mm.
what it is, let them have a look, and hopefully they'll respond in subscribing to it, because you got to subscribe to it. um, tartaraustralia.com. And yeah, so hopefully it'll be something that we can get up, because we did look at, a lot of people are doing these online, paywalls. Like they've got their channel there, and then they'll have other extra stuff, but you got to pay for it. But it's all online. It's still online. It just keeps people in front of the screen, right? Which clearly is not good for us. And we're doing it more and more and more and more. And we sort of, obviously we put a lot of effort and energy into Tartaria Australia. And we're like, well, how do we pay for this? Because we have to, obviously pay for events and newspapers and stuff. And we looked at all that stuff online, and we just thought, look, we don't want to, one, we don't want to do what everyone else is doing. But two, we don't want to make people spend more time online.
Yeah.
So what can we do? And Kelly used to be the editor of what's it called? The Big Issue? Is that the homeless
Yes.
paper? Yeah, yeah, the
Yes.
homeless paper actually in England, and she ran that for a few years, so she knows, how to set them all out and all that. She knows. So she's like, let's do a newspaper, and so here we are. Newspapers are coming back
So how often is it going to come out? Is it monthly or bi-monthly?
bi-monthly. Yep. So 6 editions a year. And yeah, yeah. So it's the first one's 72 pages. The second one might be bigger. We've got over 180 submissions so far.
Oh,
So
wow.
we're sort of cutting it now. So any other submissions will go to the next one. But so that might even be bigger. It's so it was an interesting experience when we went to send them. Oh my God, sending them overseas. We were just like, It's crazy,
Yeah.
especially America with what's going on there, man. It's
Yeah.
costing us like $30+ just to post them to
Oh,
America,
well,
just
I've
for a
had to
mag just for a
change.
magazine.
I used to use Royal Mail here to ship my books to America. And now you've got to send them in the UK. You've got to send them, I think it's recorded, tracked, special delivery signed for. It's really expensive. It's doubled the cost. So now I use
Yeah.
a courier instead called Every. And they
Oh,
charge the same price as it originally cost me to ship one. So around sort of 10, £11, I can send a book to America, or around £30 if I use Royal Mail.
interesting. I
Mm.
mean, we did look at a few issues, but we were also, we just got to get it out.
Yeah,
All right, so we'll look into that. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, there
If
might be a
anyone knows any
courier.
good ones, leave it in the comments.
Yeah,
But this is the thing. So we're slowly working it out. But the one good thing is, like, we were going to get it printed, and they're all pushing this glossy, you know, yucky looking stuff and
mm,
all this typeset and crap. And we thought it was going to be a lot more expensive to print. And we went in there, and Kelly basically walked in and went, "All right," because she hated, we didn't like the gloss. She's like, "What is your cheapest, worst paper you've got?" And they showed us, and we're like, "That's awesome. We'll take it." And it was the cheapest thing they had. And then we found out that it was the same price to print in color as it is in black and white because we thought it would cost
oh,
more in color.
yeah,
And they're like, no, no, it's no, same price. And we're like, whoa. So we had a win there. And we're still battling with the postage, but we'll get there. But they're all being posted out. We've posted them all, to England, all through Europe, America, all around Australia, New Zealand, Asia, a couple to Africa, I think. So it's happening, guys. So go and subscribe if
fantastic.
you want to get the coolest paper around, man. And of course, anyone can submit to it. And we've just found out we're the cheapest advertising ever, right? If you submit, you can advertise whatever you want, and it's free. It's the submitting stuff is free. Advertising your business, your books, your whatever, it's free. Like
Wow,
so it's a good deal.
that's incredible.
I
So
think so.
the first one's free. Do you then pay for two, three,
Yeah, so the
four?
first one is now done. They were free. So it was just the first edition is free.
Yeah,
So every like from this edition on, it's all subscription. Yeah,
yeah, brilliant. And what?
yeah.
How much is the subscription?
It's $20 a month.
That's nothing, is it?
No, we don't think so. And like I said, it's 72 pages. It's not small. It's a lot of information, a lot of reading. You're not going to get it anywhere else. Helping to support, our community and this information getting out there as well. And yeah, it's not much, right?
Mm,
It's for
yeah,
$5 a week.
yeah. Cup of coffee.
A cup of coffee, exactly,
Mm,
which most people will go and buy without even thinking,
yeah,
and then they look around and go, "Oh my God, $20 a month."
yeah.
But look at
I,
what you're spending, right? Like have a coffee at home, buy our magazine.
I get the odd message saying I would really love to read your books, but I can't afford them at the moment because I'm going through a divorce or I'm moving house or I've just come back from my holidays, whatever. And I look up and they've been messaging me and sending me bits and pieces and asking me about things that I've written about for months, months and months, in some cases over a year. And I think, wow, you can get the paperback version of my book for £12.99. And in a year, you haven't been able to find 12. And I know not everybody's got money. I'm not saying that. But when I see them on Facebook and, they're posting all the time, they're here, they're there, they're in a restaurant, there's a selfie of them with their dinner and a bottle of champagne and all of this stuff. And I think, wow, you couldn't find £12.99. That's, I think, one of the problems we've got now that too many people are seeing reading as something you don't need to do anymore. They want the instant gratification of information there and then, right in front of them. You sort of half absorb it and scroll to the next thing and it's gone.
Yeah, yeah. and there's also this weird theory out there that a lot of people think that if you're speaking the truth or trying to get the truth out there, that
Ah,
you cannot charge for it.
no.
I'm sorry, you need to work 40 to 60 hours a week for me and not be able to pay your bills or have a house. It should all
Mm.
be free. So, that's definitely a thing. But I mean,
Have you
as
tried getting a
frustrating.
free dictionary? Have you tried
No.
going into a bookshop and saying, well, in
Yeah,
here,
I
this is the
know.
truth, isn't it? This is the truth, the true meaning of every single word. This is the
Give it to
truth.
me.
Yeah, so why am I paying for that? And I'll take a Bible while I'm here as well. Oh, and that Encyclopedia Britannica. I'll take all of these. But of course, they're free, aren't they? Because it's the truth, isn't it?
It's the truth. I know, right? And it's just a weird thing again. It's programming. It's very, like the religion thing to me. A lot of these people will either be on government benefits or working for a corporation while they're professing that that's the problem, right? And so it's like, well, you gotta walk the talk, man, or else
Hmm.
you're just talking babble,
Yeah,
right? It's just babble from
it is
Babylon,
Babel.
right? Babble on, baby.
Exactly right.
So
It's
yeah,
I have the odd person, and I totally understand this. I totally get this. That will say, I don't want to support Amazon. I don't want to buy something through Amazon. And I'm surprised you support Amazon. And I say, well, I don't support Amazon. Amazon pay me. I don't give Amazon anything. They printed my books for free and pay me every month. So it's actually the other way around. Don't forget, of course, that yes, he's obviously clearly sold out and become one of the team, but he started off as an online second-hand book shop. That's what he was. So don't forget that. But also, if you're going to say that you don't support Amazon, make sure you're not telling me that using your smartphone.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And
And hopefully you're not on
not
social
watching
media
me on
doing it.
YouTube, right? Like we're
Yeah.
both on YouTube, right? And that doesn't mean that we love YouTube and Google and we think that they're the best thing ever. But it's a way for us to get our information out there that will support us because you can't do this stuff an hour a night after you get home from work and you're stuffed and you've got a family. It
Mm,
does not work. It's a full-time job. Like once you
mm.
get into it, it really is, right?
Oh, yeah.
Especially researching and writing books, right? So it's and this is the thing, not everything's evil. And if even if it's bad, why would we not use that for good? Like if
Mm.
YouTube's bad and oh my God, it's just all about this and that. Well, if we can turn that into something good, why wouldn't we? Isn't that what it's
Yeah.
all about?
And if you don't
Right?
if you really think that, then what are you
Don't
doing on
watch
it?
YouTube. What are you doing on the internet at all?
Mm.
Right? Because the internet, which I've just learned is the surface net, because there's all these different levels.
Yeah.
It's completely owned,
Mm.
right? And when you watch a YouTube video, they're going to throw ads at you unless you pay them. So you're either supporting this system or you're not involved at all.
Mm.
And I think it's all movement, right? This, like we said, this has woken so many people up. It's connected so many people. It's put out all this information, given people such better questions to ask. So is that not good? And so why would we not take the good, right? I
Yeah.
mean, it would be ridiculous for us all to say, "Oh my God, but it's owned by billionaires who we don't like. Let's all quit it." And then what do? We sit in our homes alone with no connection, no
Mm.
information, and being sad.
Yeah.
I mean, you've really, so many people love to sprout their, I stand for this, and oh my God, and I'm so awake, and this bad, but I mean, what would your life be without it? Are you
Mm.
prepared to go without it? Like how true are those thoughts and values in you? Don't say it if you're not going to do it.
Mm. I totally agree. And look at yourself as well. I had this conversation with someone a little while ago who'd just written a book, and they said that they weren't going to put it on Amazon because they didn't want to support Amazon. In fact, they're now trying to live off grid and live off the land. And I said that again, like I said earlier, I totally understand why you wouldn't want to support a huge company. Well, I won't support anybody that's part of the World Economic Forum. I said, oh, that's interesting, considering the vehicle that you drive, the Samsung phone that you've got, where you have to fill up for fuel, the make of your printer and where Hewlett Packard and where you have to buy the cartridges from, and who you bank with. So that's very
Yeah,
interesting.
and your clothes and where you get your food from.
Yeah. So it said, I don't like being in the system, but I am aware I need to use it to
Well,
suit me.
yeah, we were all born in the system. We didn't choose. We weren't born and grown up and then like, well, we choose to go over here.
Mm,
We were born into it and completely programmed by it.
mm,
So getting out of it has to be a gradual thing. If it's not a gradual thing, you're going to find yourself living in the forest with no food and no house and no communication, and you're probably not going to go far.
mm,
So this to me, it's a transition, right?
mm,
And like we've got to ask the question. Like there's all this stuff like, oh my God, they're all evil, they're all bad. And yes, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that these, Elites are good, souls or anything, but they're teaching us something, right?
mm,
They're teaching us what we don't like. They're giving us the tools to get out of this system.
mm,
They're helping us, get information, right? And wake, if you want to use that, wake people up. So are they really bad, right? Like
mm.
everything, what's that William Shakespeare quote? Nothing is good or bad, but thinking makes it so, right? All these opinions that people prophesize to stand by, but they don't really. They will until it's a bit uncomfortable. Then they just sort of go back, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree with you.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, if you're in that box, go find a mirror and have a good hard look at yourself.
So what are you looking at the moment? Is there anything that's
Yeah,
taking up
well,
your time?
wow, yeah. With Kelly and Tartaria Australia, we've been looking at the ocean
Right. Is there a
and the
bottom
fact,
to it?
is there a bottom to it? That was the first question because, 85% they tell us is unexplored. They don't know. And so then we started looking into the internet cables and well, they started off as communication cables. The first ones are laid in the 1850s, right? And that was America to Europe in the 1850s, right? And you've got to understand they didn't know it was under the water. So one, they didn't know how long the cable had to be,
Mm.
which is interesting. And two, it was obviously a massive cable. How were they actually laying it? If you look at the pictures, they just got these, boats with these little spools on the back. Um, so it's a silly story. And they actually laid the transatlantic cable, and it was like 25 years before they put wires up in a town. So before they actually, so the story is they had this technology before they got a town and went, let's see if we can run this,
Mm.
the signal around this town and talk to each other on a phone or whatever. They laid it 25 years before that, they laid it across the Atlantic Ocean. And then the story is that everything that we have communication wise ran off that until fiber optics in the 80s.
Oh, it lasted so well, didn't it?
Ah, yes.
But you're right,
And
it doesn't stack up, does
it's
it?
dumb. And it was literally 10 years, or less than 10 years after they'd first apparently run a signal through a wire. Less than 10 years they were laying the transatlantic cables. So that's interesting. And
Oh,
then we look,
sorry, regarding that, the day that the first communication allegedly was sent was the same day that Princess Diana died.
what was that? Oh, for the fiber optics.
The cables, the original cable being ran from the transatlantic cable underwater, the
Yeah.
anniversary of that,
Oh, the anniversary.
yeah, the
Okay.
same date, actual day and
Wow.
month, was the same day that Princess Diana, yeah, popped off.
Interesting.
Mm, same
Yeah,
date.
right. Well, she was doing a bit of uh, trans-country communication,
She
wasn't she,
was.
with
She
the
certainly was.
Islamic State? Yeah, I mean it's interesting, but then we were looking into it, and there's all these layers to the internet, and they've got all these watery terms, right? The first one is the surface layer, then it's the dark web, then it's the deep web. Now, underneath the deep web is a layer called the Mariana layer, as
Right.
in the Mariana Trench.
Trench, yeah.
That's weird. And then you go down, and there's a fog layer, and then the bottom layer is the prime arc layer. And that's basically where everything comes from. And they say that's where AI and everything, the prime archon, the prime arc. It's been a very interesting rabbit hole. If you want to check it out, Tartaria Australia on autodidactic. We've done three on it so far, but yeah, that blew my mind that it is so watery, right? Like the Mariana
Yeah.
layer, and we don't know anything about the Mariana Trench, right? Where does that go? We have all these sunken cities, right, across the realm, and so we're like questioning is the ocean even natural?
Mm,
Like we have the stories of the Great Flood, the inundation, but we all think that, there was oceans beforehand and they just rose. But is that true? What were there oceans at all? Because there's a lot of water, a lot of prime water under the ground, and humans can get everything they need water-wise from that and from fruit. We
mm.
don't need
That's how you're supposed to
seawater
take your water, isn't it? You're supposed to take water in through fruit.
through fruit, yeah, and,
Mm,
and mountain streams and stuff like that.
mm,
Not by drinking seawater.
mm. I read somewhere years ago that, and I don't know, I can't remember who it was, but apparently some alien race decided that we had too much water, so they literally poured tons, millions of tons of salt into it to restrict our
Oh.
water supply. Yeah, years ago, years and thousands and thousands of years ago, this took place because we had
Mm.
too much water.
Well, no one can explain why the ocean is salty. There is no, well, the explanation is that the water, and this is the deepest places of Earth that we're told, right? But apparently it's under that and it seeps up through the rocks. And as it does that, it grabs the salt out of the rocks. And that's why the sea is salty. But the exact same process is told to us of how mountain streams
Mm,
appear, but it's not salty.
mm.
So what's going on there? Like they literally can't explain why the ocean is salty.
What do you
So
think?
it's well, I don't. I'm thinking about it all at the moment. We've only been on this for a couple of weeks, but we're thinking that there's a lot of these books and movies like the Big Friendly Giant, the BFG,
Hmm.
going through water and going into upside down land. Right? We have the similar themes in like Superman, Bizarro World, Alice in Wonderland. There's lots of these alternate upside world type things. Is there another world? We're told. Even the old maps of the world shows Sheol, right? Which is like water underneath us. So is there another realm underneath? Like if you go down, do you turn upside down? Have you ever seen that video of that guy? He was a movie producer and he went underwater and there's video of it and he found a lake at the bottom of
Yes,
the ocean.
yes.
Interesting, right?
Mm,
Is that some kind of way to get through? Like, is this where our invaders have come from?
mm,
Reptilians, are they maybe more amphibian?
mm,
All these sea monsters and mermaids and mermen. Like, what does that all mean?
mm,
It's all been
mm.
turned into fairy tale, right? But we have legends and myths of them going back till day dot.
Just
So,
thinking about the salt water for a second.
mm,
Our tears and our sweat is salty, isn't it?
it is salty, but it's a different salt than the ocean. Salt in the ocean, if I remember correctly, I'm going to get this wrong probably, but is mainly sodium. But the salts we need, it's a different composition, and
Right.
we
Yeah.
need like we need a variety of salts as well. So it is salty to taste, right? Um, but it's a different composition of salt because salts are
Interesting
just
though, isn't
like
it?
it is
That
interesting,
we
right?
actually have salt, salt water.
Yeah, and it's interesting that we sweat salt.
Yeah.
Like, so why would our if it's so essential for our body, why is the body getting rid of it?
Mm. Because salt's actually what really hydrates you, isn't it? That's why you put on a saline drip.
Yes, yeah, yeah. So, but it's got to be certain salts.
Mm.
If you just take sodium, it's not good, right? You know, a little bit's good, but we need to have like magnesium and all these other different salts in there as well. So, yeah, yeah, we definitely need salts, but
Mm.
it's a different salt basically. Like if you went out and started drinking seawater, you wouldn't do too well.
No, no, you're going to be sick relatively quickly, aren't you?
Exactly. Like, I mean, if it was the same thing, you know, like athletes would be down, you know, grabbing seawater, wouldn't they, and
Mm.
sculling that before their races and that, but they're
Mm.
not. That they're taking this hydrolytes, which is a mixture of different salts. So it's, you know, it's in that they're sort of it's like everything, right? They give us all these stories, and you can't believe it. But when you look into it, it kind of all falls apart, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, hang on, what's going on here? Doesn't make a lot of sense.
It's interesting though, because I saw your podcast on, how, is there a bottom to the ocean? You know, is there? I mean, nobody knows. Because again, this and there'll be people watching this that say, well, of course there is, because Wikipedia told
We
me,
know.
or a
I saw
book
it
I
in the
read
atlas.
said, or NASA have decided, or whatever. But of course, we
Mm.
don't know any of this stuff. We don't know.
No, no, it's an edge, right? It's an edge. We can't get to that edge and prove it to ourselves. So
Mm,
it's just got to be interesting, right? Until you've got rock solid evidence.
mm,
And then there's all these theories of, you know, what is space? You know, is it waters above? You know, we've all seen NASA
yes.
astronauts, you know, with the bubbles and training
Mm,
in the pools, and you look at their outfits, their you know, space, what do they call? I don't know, outfits.
Bait
It,
suit, or
it's
yeah, whatever it
exactly
is.
the same as a deep
Mm,
sea diving suit.
mm,
Exactly. So, you know, where are they really going? Why do rockets go up just to go down?
mm.
Are they getting a run up to
Yes.
dive into the ocean? You know, and we've all seen the videos of like the rockets skimming on the firmament and it looks like a
Mm,
boat, like water. So, you know, what is it? You know, we're still just going down the what is this place? Like, is there
yeah.
waters above? Are we completely
Yes.
contained? Can you go down and then end up?
Mm,
So literally are the UFOs space, not ships, I guess, but space submarines
mm,
flying around above of us if they come from below? And the word ship is interesting. You know, spaceships, ships on the
mm,
ocean. Um, yeah, there's just a lot of questions. So we're going down that.
yeah.
Well, is it a rabbit hole? Maybe it's a water hole.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Because you're quite right. I mean, why is it called a space ship?
Mm.
Why isn't it called a space plane?
Yeah, yeah, exactly right. Or a space jet or a space
Yeah.
rocket even, right?
Yeah. Why a
Like,
ship?
why a ship?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all, and then you can throw in the maritime law,
Mm-hmm.
right? The law of the sea. They seem to be, you know, the stories of the sea people and the Phoenicians, you know, which again, no one knows where they came from. They just appeared from the oceans one day,
Mm,
you know. So there is a lot that ties in with it. So it's interesting. It's like all these rabbit holes. You start on them, and it just starts as an idea, and you start to dig, and it's like, wow,
yeah.
okay.
You find yourself in a warren.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's with everything, right? Because it's all fake, man. It's all his story.
Yeah. I love that. Mind you, I love autodidactic. It's such a
Oh, yes.
perfect word.
Yes, yes. I was very
It,
happy the day I learned what autodidactic was. I was like, yes. I
We're
like that
always
word.
learning, though, aren't we? Every day we learn something new. I mean, I've been going on and on and on about, the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds for years. And do you know, it was only yesterday, just yesterday, that I started having a deeper look at who J.D. Rockefeller's dad was. Now, why haven't
Right.
I done that before?
Ah, that was that Wild Bill, was that
Devil
it?
Bill.
Something Devil Bill. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Snake oil
snake oil
salesman.
salesman. That's it.
Yeah.
But also, an RAPIST.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
really, and beat the hell out of the kids, like really, really horrific person. And I thought that's
Mm.
interesting. Wonder in his photographs, he always looks so bloody miserable despite the incredible
Yeah.
wealth.
He wasn't a happy dude, was he?
No, no, but I just thought that, wow, how many people do know about? Because I looked at Rothschild, Solomon Roth, no, Mayer Amschel Rothschild. I looked at his great grandfather. Elijah Bow of Worms. Bow, and it is, yeah, and he was into witchcraft, sorcery, and anyone who met him said that they just felt uncomfortable. He had this really negative, low sort of energy around him, and yeah, very strange things happened near him, and he was practicing all sorts of witchcraft and messing around with the occult. And
Mm.
a couple of generations later, you've got the first Rothschild bank opening, and the great grandson.
They've taken over. I
Mm,
mean, it's yeah. I mean, we've been invaded, right, by a certain
mm,
kind of entity that is clearly
mm,
not us, right? Because I've never met a human that wanted to start a war or go
no,
to their neighbors and say, you need to give me money every week or I'm going to come and put you in a cage.
mm,
That's not a human trait, right? We don't,
no,
they're clearly not us.
no.
And yeah, it's interesting, right? You look back, I mean, even with NASA, that was all, that all came from, dark magic as well, right? The whole thing. And I think if you look into a lot of these companies, they all did, even,
Mm,
Elon,
yeah.
Musk, who made it for
Mm.
himself in a garage or whatever the
Oh, they
story
always
is.
do, don't they? Yeah, it's always in a
Always a
garage.
garage, yes.
Mm,
He actually stole PayPal, basically took it over and sold it. But he grew up, he's bloodline. His dad was the same. He was a grapist. They owned the biggest emerald mine in South Africa, and he was the rich kid at college. So
mm,
all these stories they tell us, it's all BS. It's just all a way to make us to relate to them, like so that
yeah,
we think that they're like us.
yeah,
And every time, right, it turns into a control system, like every time, you
yeah.
know, especially if they start in a garage.
I know. Microsoft did as well, didn't it? And
Microsoft,
they forget to tell you
Apple,
about his mum and being a director of IBM and barcoding prisoners of war in Germany. And
yeah, yeah, and Planned Parenthood, and the fact that
yes,
he didn't write MS-DOS, he stole DOS off someone and got someone to change it a little bit and turned it into Microsoft DOS, MS-DOS, and now everyone thinks he's smart.
mm,
And suddenly he's a doctor who's the world's
yes,
leading knowledge base on vaccines.
yeah.
That's
I
amazing.
I call him Gates of Hell.
Yeah, yeah, I call him Billy Goat.
Yeah, I bet he loves goats as well. Yeah, I bet he does.
Yeah, yeah, no, they're all of the same ilk, and we never see these people
No,
apart from if it's in the 2D world, right? Unless they're
yeah.
on a screen, you don't see them.
Mm,
So where are they? What do they do? Like there's people and they're supposed to supposedly living these lives, living in LA or London or wherever, and you see them maybe 3 or 4 times a year, and it's always just happens to be when they got something to promote. It's very interesting that.
yeah, where are they? You don't bump into
Where
them in
are they?
traffic jams, do you? Or you just don't see them
You
ever.
don't see them. No, so I mean, where are they actually residing?
Mm,
I definitely think there's extra land masses out there that we're not told about.
mm,
And that's why the realm is so highly guarded, why we can't go anywhere, why there's shipping routes and airline routes and all this stuff. Even if you buy a boat, you can't take it where you want. or a plane. You go to the wrong place and there'll be Air Force or Navy there saying turn around. So
Yeah.
what's that about?
Mm.
They're clearly protecting areas that they don't want us to go.
And who gave them the right to do that? You know, who decides that that area of airspace can't be entered by certain people? Why? It doesn't belong to you. Who
No,
on earth gave you the right to think that you can decide where we can and can't travel?
that they are arrogant. I mean, this
Mm,
is the thing. They believe that they have the right given to them by their God.
mm,
Right, which comes back to this whole religion thing, like the God, yeah, great. Which God? What are we talking about
yeah.
here? Because we all see them up at the Grammys and they're going, "Oh, thank you, God."
Mm.
Which God? Can you please clarify?
Yeah, and of course the King
Because
James Bible was altered to benefit the king, to almost make people believe that the king was put in place by God, chosen to
by
rule,
God,
and it was
very good
adapted
question.
to promote that concept, that ideology, wasn't it? So, you know,
Totally.
how people
And
could,
and it was sold. It was released
mm,
when the printing presses. It was basically one of
mm,
the first. I think it was the first, right? Big print, and sold.
mm,
Right, so he's professing, I'm doing all this to save your souls. And he's the king who can afford to print them and give them out for free. But no, it was all for money,
mm,
which is where we get the word royalties.
mm, and it still owned the copyrights for
And
them,
they
like the
still are
Crown.
getting royalties from it today.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, because the truth should be free, remember?
exactly right.
But you're quite right.
And if I was worth, $12 billion or even a million, it would be free, but we need to live.
Yeah, yeah, it's useful, isn't it? Whenever I'm
Yeah, yeah.
asked why, whenever I'm confronted with that, because you're telling the truth, people shouldn't pay for it, it should be free. I often think whether or not my bank would agree with that, or the shop up the road where I get my groceries from. Are they comfortable with me not
Yeah.
paying them if I'm not earning a living? You know, is that okay?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, or is your job, just ask them, oh, so you lie all day at your job, do you? Is that why you get paid? Because
Mm,
clearly, if you were doing the truth at your job, then you wouldn't get paid.
mm.
So do you go to work all day and lie? Is that what you do? Is that what you're telling me? Just using your logic, like it's people don't
Mm,
think when they say these things and unfortunately, one of the biggest problems is it's poverty consciousness.
mm,
It really is, right? People are like annoyed. How dare they charge me? Because I don't think I have enough. Of course, they have enough money. If you don't and you really want something, you can go and mow someone's lawn. You can go and hand out pack. You can make money. I've done it many, 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 many times. If you need money, you can get it, right? But if you sit on your ass and complain, then you're not going to get anything and you really don't deserve it. And if people aren't willing to have an energy exchange, they really don't deserve it.
mm,
They really don't. Because that they would never do the same. They would never go and spend all their time on the truth of giving out for free. They wouldn't do it.
mm.
So, it's unfortunate, but a lot of people are full of shit. To put it mildly.
Oh yeah,
And,
you're not wrong
and I
though.
just say that because we do have to change this attitude. It's got to be
Mm,
changed, guys.
mm,
This is, and this whole everything is evil has to be changed. Like most of the people are good. Like the
mm,
first thing I learned, decades ago when I started looking into, the power structure is they're like 1% of the 1%.
mm,
A tiny, tiny fraction. And now everyone seems to have this idea that they're everywhere
mm.
and everything is them and everything's bad,
Oh, I know. And
right?
everyone's
And that
part of it, and
everyone's part of it. Everyone's a shill. Are they a
mm,
shill? Oh my God, they spoke to that person. They're a shill. They must be like, oh my God.
mm,
I even got a comment the other day when I was talking to Afi, who I'm going to Pakistan, by the way, in January. Um, lostworldadventures.co.uk.
wow.
Um, and so she's a female, and I don't know. I talked to a couple of females and someone's like, "You're just using your channel to meet women and talk to them. I'm
Oh
never going to
my
watch you
God.
again." And I'm just like,
What's wrong with them?
well, I mean,
Why
my
would you
first
say
thought
something
is,
like that?
I'm so glad I don't live in your head because it must not be fun. Like, I feel sorry for them. I really do. Imagine living in that mentality
Mm,
that everything you see, you have to find a problem with. You have to point out that they're a shill, that they're against you, that they're part of the dark side. And all this time knowing that you're actually doing nothing
mm.
for the light or to help, it must be a very, very bad place to be.
Have you noticed how everybody's inverted as well now? That every person out there is actually, trans. Everyone.
Yes,
I put a post up a little while ago.
everyone.
I put one up about Princess Diana, and it was to do with what happened to her when in Paris when she died, and people started saying she's an invert. She was actually born a male, and then someone said to me, "What do you think? Do you think she was born a male?" And I said, "Well, all I know is I used to live near her, and we drank in the same pub. I never saw her in there, but my friend's wife was the manager of the pub, and she used to see her all the time and said she was a really lovely girl. She'd known her for years and years and years, only to say hello to, and wouldn't say boo to a ghost. And this wasn't someone that suddenly became a man just before they met Charles. This is someone that, I lived in Northampton for 30 years. We all knew her,
Hmm.
Um, and so I said, well, to the best of my knowledge, I know people that know her, and she was definitely a girl from quite a young age, but I don't have access to her medical history, so I can't
An
comment.
edge. It's an edge. But this is the thing, like some people see these videos. Thanks, fittest flat earther. God. And everyone's a tranny or they're an invert or that they're like an actor that changes roles and all this kind of
Mm,
stuff. And look, I'm not saying that doesn't happen. I've seen Big Mike. I've seen Barry,
yeah,
call her Mike. So I'm sure it
Barry
goes
Hitler.
on. Yeah, I'm sure it goes on. But it doesn't mean it's everything.
Mm,
Like, and that it's kind of embarrassing. This is why I say do not judge things as right or wrong, because you don't know.
mm,
People watch one of these videos and they're like, "Oh my God, they're all trannies."
mm,
That's not thinking. That's being told something. I mean,
mm,
it's interesting, sure. Go do your research, see what you can find, come to your own conclusions. But as far as watching a video, including this one, and saying everything that they said is right, and not doing any research and going out into the world with that mentality and spruiking that, that's really stupid. It shows no intelligence at all, no thought process, nothing. It just shows that you are a very programmable person, very programmable. And all you're doing is becoming one of the normies that you say that, oh my God, they're bloody normies. They're
mm.
all NPCs. Like people, I don't know. They
Oh,
just don't seem to be able to think that well.
I had a brilliant one the other day. I was wearing a black and white checkered shirt.
Oh my God, Illuminati confirmed.
Yeah, and
Mason.
somebody said that he's wearing a black and white checkered shirt because he's actually 33rd degree Freemason,
33rd degree,
and
yeah.
he's yeah, always that, isn't it? And although I've never met anybody who knows one, I've met people and spoken to people who say they do. But yeah, apparently I was wearing it as a code. And yesterday, on this post I put up about the Catholic Church, someone asked a question and I hadn't seen it. So I had to stand and replied to this comment. And someone else commented saying, "Don't ask him. He won't tell you the truth. He's a gatekeeper." What? There's someone I'd never heard of, don't know them, not friends with them or anything. I thought that's interesting. They've obviously know so much about me that they actually know more about me than I do, and
Oh,
they've
they
uncovered
do.
something I'm not aware of. I thought, what a
Yes.
stupid thing to say. You know,
They never come with receipts, do they? They never
they
have
don't, do
anything to
they?
back themselves up. It's just
Mm,
wild accusations.
mm.
Everyone's bad except me. Like they're never bad. It's
Mm,
everyone, but they're not never them, you
yeah.
know. And yeah, you go and like write two books and release all this information, and somehow you're gatekeeping information.
Apparently so. Mm,
Apparently so, right?
yeah.
So, I mean, you've just got to feel sorry for these people, and I really do. And I
Mm,
hope that they will come to their senses and, not program their children too much because this is what we're trying to get away from, right? This is what
mm,
the new that stuff doesn't exist in the new earth, the fire, whatever you want to call it, right? The next phase. None of that shit is going to be there. It can't
mm,
exist there. That's this world.
mm,
So if you keep thinking like that and you keep putting that out there and you keep making it your thoughts, then that is what you will create.
mm,
So if this split happens and half of us or whatever go off to a better place and half go to 15-minute cities, where do you think all these people are going to go who are
oh,
who are
absolutely.
pointing the finger at everyone?
Mm,
Everyone's the problem except me. I'll
mm,
look at the whole world. I just will never look at me.
mm.
Right? I think there's something in that for all of us.
I always say the same thing. And this is a Marcus Aurelius quote. This isn't from me, but it's my favorite quote of his, and it is all I know for certain is that I know nothing at all. Because I don't.
Yeah, man.
I have
No,
my
and
thoughts and a lot of research, but I don't have the truth I don't know what's up there. And when people say, is it a spinning ball? Is it a flat earth? And I said, well, I don't think we're spinning, but I don't know what we're on because I haven't seen it.
yeah,
I need to get out there, perhaps to areas we're not allowed to go into, to see for
mm,
myself. I don't, did Jesus die on the cross for our sins? I don't know. I wasn't there. Wasn't there. I don't believe
mm,
so because there's no proof. There's just a book. There's a book
yeah,
that was written, as you said, a very long time after the event that lots of people have interfered with, that's been badly translated on purpose, big chunks missing, and then adapted to suit a royal family. Well, I'm
mm,
sorry, that's not really what I would call, categoric evidence of something that's factual.
oh,
So I don't
you
know the
don't
answer
need
to a lot of things.
you don't need evidence when you got faith, man.
Mm. Well,
That's
George
what faith
Michael
is,
said you've got
right?
to have faith, and look what happened to him.
Yeah, yeah, exactly right. But this is the thing, right? This is what faith is. It's just believing something because someone told it to you because they
Mm,
cannot show you any evidence for it.
mm,
And everything is an edge. We all, like you said, we all grew up believing that we were living on a planet on spinning through space. Most of us have questioned that recently. We believed dinosaurs. Most of us have questioned that. We believed many things, right? Like Michelle Obama was a woman. Like all these things that we now have to question.
mm,
So we have to question everything. As soon as you say that you know the truth and you've got the answer and that's correct, you cannot learn anything else. All you're
mm,
doing is shutting your mind down.
mm,
100%, you will never take in more information on that topic because you know the answer.
mm,
You're right. So it's a trap, man. It's a
mm.
trap. It's like the saying, the more you know you don't know. And that is
Yes.
it's so true. And that's the thing. Like, I don't think there is any truth, especially out there. Maybe, in contemplation, you can come up with I am good, I am nice, they can be truths, I guess, but are there any real hardcore truths? I mean, probably not. It's all perception.
Mm,
And unfortunately, most of the information we get is just opinion stacked on opinion given as fact. And people believe it. And look where we are in this big mess.
mm.
So
Yeah, I totally agree. I
be
totally agree.
autodidactic, my friends.
Yeah,
Think
you
for
have
yourself.
to.
You have
Yeah,
to.
you have
It's
to. Yeah.
yeah.
And when it comes to church, and I don't want to sound like I'm knocking religion. I'm not. I'm knocking what I am doing is I'm knocking how it operates and how it contradicts and how so many people have lost their lives because of it unnecessarily when the hypocrisy within it is incredible. And I think everybody is entitled to their own opinion. They're entitled to their own beliefs, but they shouldn't spread them amongst others. or force them amongst others, and state that they are the true and the only true word is blah blah when they don't know. And I think it's quite dangerous to do that. Um, I think that you've got to come to your own conclusions, and that what God is or the creator is probably quite a personal thing. But I don't think that these days, I mean, if you mention God now and I said to the average person in the street, draw God, they would draw a man with a white beard up in the clouds.
Yeah.
Now, but where did that come from? Because no one ever referenced that. That's not in the Bible. Jesus never said that. He didn't say it's a man in
No.
the clouds. But we look up to the skies for heaven, but we don't know where it is. And I kind of think that maybe heaven and hell is similar to good and evil, and that
Yeah.
it's
Well, God and devil. God, Adonai, is good. Devil, take away the D, is evil.
mm,
So God and devil is just good and evil.
mm,
Yeah, totally agree.
yeah. So it's just a way of you thinking, and perhaps it's connected to the release of DMT when we die. Because we know when we're born and when we die, the only two times our brain naturally releases DMT. And if that is the most powerful hallucinogenic that exists, then the trip we must experience at the end of our lives, perhaps if we're in a really good and happy place when we die, that final trip is euphoric. But if we're in a very awful place, full of hate and anger, then maybe that last trip is pretty horrific. So is
Hmm.
that possibly the heaven and hell reference? Is that what that's referring to? Maybe.
It could totally be. I tend to think that it's the experience here on Earth.
My wife thinks that.
If you spend your life thinking everything is bad, everything sucks, the world's against me, you literally live in hell.
Mm,
If you think, oh my God, the world is for me, it's amazing, people are so nice and kind, well, you live in heaven. So we create heaven and hell is kind of how I look at it. I mean, as for death, it's an edge. And this is what we've got to understand that there's edges to things that
mm,
we can't go past at the moment, at least. So we can speculate, and yeah, that's awesome, and we should do. We should use the imagination and come up with stuff for sure. The problem is believing that it's an absolute.
mm.
It's like me. Oh, yes, there's 100% no bottom to the ocean. It definitely 100% leads to another world. That's where the rulers can't. I don't know that, but I'm definitely theorizing it, and as I do, more information comes. But it's this whole, and defining is really, I'm right, isn't it? It all comes down to I'm right, you're
Mm.
wrong. Ego. All of this stuff we could condense down to that. All the stupid comments, all the religions, all the crap going out, everything. Waking people up. It's all I'm right, you're wrong. If you can get rid of that,
Mm.
and you can just think, wow, it's all an experience. I wonder what I'll learn today. I wonder what this person's really like. Maybe I'll talk to them rather than judging them as I walk past,
Yes.
you know.
Yeah.
Then I think we'll go ahead further a lot faster and we'll have much
Mm.
better experiences.
Yeah. Yeah. And but I think people should agree to disagree, but I don't think we should ram our opinions down other people's throats. And religion is kind of like you said earlier on, you stopped waking people up or stopped attempting to wake people up. And we can't take credit for it anyway, because it's a series of events and we might have just pushed them over the edge. But
Mm.
it's a personal process and journey. Yet so many people will force their religious views onto others. And I
Yeah,
don't,
yeah.
the whole thing's
But
wrong.
imagine, if you were a Muslim and you walked up to a Christian and started trying to convert them, imagine the reaction you would get.
Mm. Well, that seems to
You
be
know.
quite popular here in prison. People that are getting sent to prison. I mean, there's yeah, a few people that I've heard of that have been convicted locally to here in Devon of some pretty disgusting things with girls. And as
Yeah,
soon as they got in, they've converted to have protection while they're inside. Yeah.
there's that as well, right?
Mm,
So, I mean, it's all a show.
mm,
It's all a show. And I think ultimately, you know, the outside world is, well, who knows what it is?
mm.
right? It's that's the experience. We can only change the inside world.
Mm,
Like we said, you can't wake anyone up. You can't do any. You can teach by example. You can go, well, this is what I want to be, or this, so I'm going to be it. And other people will watch you and they go, oh my God, he's really good at whatever. I'll copy what he does, right?
mm,
That's how you change people,
mm,
because it's never ever happened ever in the history of humanity that someone's walked up to someone and gone, change. And the
mm.
person's gone, oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's never happened, right?
No.
More likely they get a punch in the nose for it,
Yeah.
right? So let's not that's a fallacy. If you believe you can change someone, you're kidding yourself. Well,
Mm,
you can change yourself. You just can't change your own outside of
mm,
yourself. And if you have to change the outside world for you to be good and your world to be better, you're stuffed.
mm.
You've
And,
got
and
billions
al-
of people you've now got to go and change, right?
and also
If the world
changing
has to
someone,
change,
like you hear it all the time, don't you? And
why?
I've had this conversation with my youngest son. Well, I say he's getting married next month. Him and his girlfriend, and she was talking about we lost our dog, our older dog in February this year, and when he was told, he burst out laughing because that's how he deals with it. He can't cry, doesn't want to cry, never seen him cry. Even when he was little, he just doesn't.
Wow.
And he laughs instead. And it seems to be his way of dealing with it. And his girlfriend said, "Oh, I can't believe he laughed when he found out." And I told him off, and I said, "You shouldn't be laughing. It's not funny." And he said, "It's just how I deal with it. I loved him to death. I loved him to bits, the dog and Alfie, and it's just how I expressed it. And I didn't think it was funny, just what I did." And she said, "That's something about you that needs to change." And I said to her, "You change one thing about him, and the person you fell in love with that you want to marry is now
It's
different."
gone. It's gone. Yeah.
Yeah, either
And
you
you,
love him
you
as
hear it
he
a lot,
is or
don't you?
not. Yeah,
They'd be perfect if they just changed this.
yeah, yeah,
But
exactly.
and then
And who's that
what
coming
is that?
from?
What
Yeah,
exactly that, they,
affection itself, or
well, I think that everyone, it's a mirror, right? Everyone's a reflection. So we
mm,
like in other people what we like in ourselves.
yes,
And we dislike traits in other people that we dislike in ourselves. So all this stuff, it's just telling you something about yourself. If you think that
mm,
it's telling you that you need to change the outside world, you're missing the message.
mm.
It's telling you something about yourself. That's all it could ever tell you is about yourself.
It's like you
Like
said
because
about the keyboard warriors. It's the same thing. When they put something nasty up, it is a reflection of where they are right now, and
yeah,
not where the people they're criticizing are.
no, yeah, exactly. It's got nothing at all to do with us.
Mm,
So I don't take any of that stuff to heart at all. I literally just feel sorry for them.
mm,
I'm just like, oh my God, I'm
mm.
so glad I'm not you. I don't like to have to live in
Yeah,
your mind because
yeah,
it must suck.
mm,
Like it really must. Like I'm a happy guy. I don't dwell on any of that kind of stuff. I don't try and change anyone because, one, who am I to change someone?
mm,
Everyone's got their own life. We are not the people to walk up to someone and try and take something away. That's what you're doing when you're changing them. You're taking away from their experience. What if they needed an experience to grow and you've walked in and with all your wisdom and might and changed their mind about something and you've just taken away something that could have made their life amazing?
mm,
Like we don't know. Other people are a definite edge.
mm,
Like we can only make decisions for ourselves. Like that's it. Anything else is, you know, we'll just say not good, right? But we could definitely
mm,
get much harsher words in there, right?
mm,
If you really want to think about it, because the ultimate proof is, like I said, no one wants that done to them.
mm.
No one wants to be changed by someone else, but they're all more than happy to go and tell everyone else that they need to change.
Yeah,
It's ego. It's very
mm,
sad.
yeah, I totally agree. Well, I think we've
Mm.
come to an end here, my friend.
We got a bit deep there, but
We
yes,
did,
I
didn't
think we
we? I'm going
have.
to go off for a cry now.
But yes, no, man, I think that was good. Jeez, I don't know how long have we been going? I don't
How
even
long have we
know.
been talking now? Cool, coming up for
Yeah.
2 hours.
Oh my God, wow,
Nearly.
that did
Yeah.
go fast.
Time flies
Cool.
when you're having fun.
Right. Well,
There it is
guess my
again.
there it is, tartariaustralia.com. Go and subscribe, people.
Mm,
And yes, submit your ads, everyone, but you too, Guy,
yes, I
free
will.
advertising and join the community. Let's get
Yes.
it happening. Back into the 3D world, man.
And I'll put a link in the description for people that, haven't got a pen on them or,
Cheers, mate.
yeah,
Yes,
whatever. Yeah,
awesome.
but I will do
Thank
that.
you.
Well, thanks for
All
coming
right.
on. It's lovely chatting to you again.
Yeah, man. I enjoyed it. It's always fun chatting with you.
I hope Kelly's feeling better soon.
Yes, yes. I'll say hello for you. She should be right. I don't know. By the end of the week, they all went down. A few people have gone down, but
Mm.
that's right. They'll get back up again.
Well, thank you once again, my friend.
Thank you, Guy. Enjoyed it, mate. And let's talk again
We
in
will
the
speak
future sometime.
speak to you soon. Bye for
All
now.
right,
Take
mate.
care.
Thanks, mate. See ya.
Bye bye.